All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dallas Chamber of Community Affairs. Today is a special round robin, which means every one of you get to talk to us about what's going on with you and your organization. This is still being recorded so that we can upload it so people can catch up on all of you at once. So how we'll do this is I'm just going to call on a person and you can begin. Go ahead. We'll ask questions. We're a very open group and we love it. So inquisitive group, I guess, is the better word. So we'll just do that, and then we'll go on to our next person and go all the way through the group and just see what's happening in our community. There is a lot. I can tell you by looking at the community calendar and our e-blast, only that little piece is crazy busy. So we can only imagine what our entire community is doing and all the different things that are happening, especially with recovery efforts. With our Rowena Fire families. So to begin this morning, are you ready, Phil? We're going to start with Phil Brady.
Can you go start with someone else? Let me pull up a couple notes here.
Sure. We'll go with Brian, and Brian, you have to say more than one sentence.
Yeah, Brian's babysitting company here. We're at the kids. We spent the night at the kids last night. They have 3 little boys with colds here, so we are giving extra help and attention. So we slept on the couch. That was kind of fun. So anyway, we're having a good time. I'm watching a little one behind me here as he kind of terrorizes the house right now. So always never dull.
Well, thanks for being such a good grandpa. Appreciate that. It's important to those kids. So did that give you enough time, Phil? Nope. I saw that look.
Nope. No, I got a couple things I'm getting.
I recognize that look. Just a second. Yeah. Vesta, would you like to introduce yourself? And you're on mute. There you go.
Here we go. Hi, I'm Vesta Smith. I manage the volunteer run gift shop at the hospital. I'm just here to find out what everyone else in the world and the Dalles is doing. So as far as the gift shop itself, we always have different products and anyone can come up and shop. You don't have to have a patient in the hospital. You can just come up and shop. So I wasn't really aware of what all you were going to talk about today, so I don't have a planned little speech here. So
what are the hours that your gift shop is open?
Normally we're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until at least 2, usually 4 p.m. We're not open on the weekends yet, but we do keep the weekdays pretty busy, and we have just a great selection of different things that people can buy that you can't find anywhere else in town. So please come on up and shop.
And I guarantee you'll walk out with something.
And we keep our prices low too. We try to keep our prices as low as we can. So in these current times, that might be a little bit of a challenge, but we're working with it. So thank you.
Thank you for being here. And it is a fun little gift store, I promise. It's another way to shop local.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, I may have shopped there a time or two.
A time
or two. All right, Bill Lennox.
Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Lennox. I wear a couple hats. I've recently added a new hat. I am with the North Central Public Health as on the board member for Wasco County. I'm also on the board with Six Rivers Dispute Resolution Center. And I've been on that board for many years, and I was as a treasurer, and I'm moving through that. I'm going to probably be on the board for another couple of years. And most recently, though, I've taken on being on the committee to help support the old historic St. Paul's Church down on 601 Union. And the story behind that somewhat is that St. Paul's, of course, has had the church for decades. And within the last 2 or 3 years, because, a lot of churches, I think, have had a falling out of what would you call membership, I think, and to the point where the St. Paul's Historic Church for St. Paul's has become a bit of a concern about whether they could maintain it. and support it. So a committee was formed to help basically try to save St. Paul's, the historic St. Paul's. That's the one on, a lot of people don't even know it because they haven't really been in it. I've talked to people that have grown up here. I said, well, have you been into the historic St. Paul's Church? And they said, no, I don't know, I've never been in it. I don't know what it looks like. And so it's a chance to sort of reacquaint the community with an incredibly historic church. It's interesting enough, it's one of the few, well, the one church that survived many of the Dalles fires historically in the past, and it was built in 1875. So it just was honored its 150th year most recently. But the main thing I want to mention is that we're trying to coordinate it being open during Saturday market. And so if you're coming down to do some shopping, poke your head in, the door should be open. There should be somebody there who can at least talk a little bit about, or a lot, depending who's volunteering that day, about the history of the little historic church, and sort of give you a little bit of insight once you walk into the chapel. If you've never really been in, you get a chance to sort of see some of the. Basically, it's almost literally untouched from the time it was built. It's had some renovations back, I think, in the early 1900s, where they reconfigured the front of the church, and they built the bell tower. But other than that, if you're inside of it, you're pretty much sitting in the same pews that were there in 1875. So it's a pretty cool place to step into. And like I said, it's going to be open hopefully on Saturday mornings, and also on the 29th. I have to bring this up. We're having a band of cellos. It's going to be on the 29th, and it's between 2 and 4 p.m. And it's you can buy tickets online, or most probably at the door too. And so that's going to be a band of band of cellos, June 29th, between 2 and 4 p.m. So that's another way of trying to support. And of course, if you go in there, there's always a donation box there to try to add any amount of money will help pay for the as just with the Discovery Center, HVAC systems need repair, lights and all the upkeep that have to happen. So that's what I have for you this morning. Thank you.
Bill, a quick question. Bill,
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Bill, you mentioned you're in public health department.
Yeah.
Does the public health follow the federal rules, or do they follow what they think is best here? Because obviously there's some real concern about the feds kind of going sideways here and, and not recommending necessary and safe shots for kids and stuff. Any thoughts?
Well, you know who might be best to answer? I mean, Phil is obviously the Wasco County Commissioner that's responsible, or is on the board, I should say. And I'm basically the at-large member. And Phil, did you want to take that on, or I can try to punt it?
Yeah, the uncertainty and mayhem coming federal government, but we are starting to learn that, okay, something is said, and then the courts take opinion on it. And my position on this would be that our public health does act with a good degree of independence. So we're the things that are being spoke of now at the federal level with Kennedy and everybody, if at this point those would just be recommendations. Where it could get harder is if they curtail funding for vaccines. So vaccines are expensive, but they cost less than disease. So we'll have to see down the road if they're going to curtail funding for that. But once again, that will follow after a legal battle to see if the administration is doing something illegal. You can scream and shout things that are illegal, but then to do things that are legal is harder. So still wait and see at this point. Nothing's changed at the health district, and we just passed the budget for the health district, and it's fairly stable budget for next year. Medicare and Medicaid, those are going to be big issues that'll affect I'll talk about that. That'll affect people in several ways.
Yeah. Any other questions for Bill and Phil regarding that?
I had a question of Bill.
Yes,
Bill, what is the seating capacity of Old St. Paul's?
100, nearly 100.
100?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. We had a fire marshal come in just to be sure that we weren't going to go over. It's a fairly tight 100, I'd say, but that's what the pews will allow. So
I spent time in the Old St. Paul's when I was a kid. With Lou Nichols had a rock shop, and he had a 4-H club, Rockhounds 4-H club that I was a member of, and so he had his exhibits there. That was fun.
exactly, that's in the Remington, what they call the Remington Hall, which is next door, right? It's an adjacent building there.
Mhm.
That used to be the offices for the Eastern Oregon Diocese, and then they moved out. And that's now basically a nice sitting room and with a fireplace.
Mhm.
Exactly.
so do they rent that out?
Well, that's it. It could be rented out for sure, just depending
Like
on
for
yeah.
For
And
small meetings and things like that?
yes, it would be available. We just Jerry Frazier and Julie Reynolds is really involved with that. So that's at this particular point, I think they're the go-to people. And of course, Gretchen Kimsey has been part of this project from the very get-go. She's been part of the church forever. So
Awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. Phil, are you now ready?
I'm now ready. Thank
Okay,
you.
let's introduce yourself just in case someone had popped in here and doesn't know you yet.
Okay. I'm Phil Brady. I'm Wasco County Commissioner, and today I'm the bearer of bad news. Some really bad news.
Really?
Yes.
Sorry.
Sheriff McGill received a letter from the Oregon Health Authority because he's been working for years and years to put together the Crisis Resolution Center. And to drop the lead here, it's run into a brick wall. Oregon Health Authority is not giving what technically it's a IMD exclusion. IMD stands for Institute for Mental Disease exclusion. The quick reason we can go into more details on this is that the rules to set up a treatment center for several types of mental health require that it be small, 16 beds. And it also requires that you can't put one building with 16 beds next to another building with 16 beds, et cetera. So we were expecting, we were requesting that the Oregon Health Authority, this is an Oregon law, and that the Oregon Health Authority, takes action. It's not a federal statute, it's Oregon statute, but that did not happen. And at this point, Sheriff McGill is understandably saying that he can't expend more energy on this process because it's been 5 years. I know it feels like a punch to the gut. That's exactly what it is. Where I can, would you like me to talk, go back up and explain what's going on, and then we can go forward? Is that okay?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to back up and explain what most people called it the Resolution Center. I never felt comfortable that name, so I preferred to call it the Crisis Resolution Center. And I'm going to roll back, I don't know how many, 30, 40, maybe 50 years to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest story, where we had a large mental health institution. And at that time, people realized, okay, these places are unhealthy, unsafe, inhumane. And Oregon decided, okay, we got to stop having large mental health institutions. And so rules were put in place I'm not sure if in the 50, maybe probably, I'm gonna say 70s, I'm not sure. And that's where the rules are that you can't have large facilities. I bumped into this once before at Norcor. Norcor was, I was teaching juvenile detention, and Norcor tried to add on another program for youth who were transitioning out of jail. And so they wanted to make it 24 beds because they found that that would be the price, the size that would make it feasible to run. In order, you'd have to have that much youth coming in, each one bringing some money with them from their counties. And the program ran into the same rule, so they sized it down to 16. And running at 16, it couldn't work. It was not, couldn't be priced out. So in the Dow, then move up to when was Governor Brown in office? In the aughts, I guess. And she was looking at the mental health crisis and made a policy that we need to distribute mental health facilities across the state. We need to build more mental health, not more, just we need more, starting from zero. We need mental health facilities. So that started an initiative to drive to build small ones. In the Dalles, we were going to build 4 parts to it. A first, crisis stabilization center with just chairs. I've seen one of these in operation in Bend. So it's almost like a emergency room where you've got little separate areas, and people who are experiencing a acute mental health issue can come in and it's a calm down place, and there's staff there to help them. That's not, they wouldn't stay there overnight. It's just immediate use. The second component was substance use disorder residential treatment. So that's would be for basically for folks who are trying to get off whatever, alcohol, fentanyl, methadone. And it could use, actually, methadone could be used in part of the treatment there. So that's substance abuse. A third component would be a mental health residential treatment facility. So this would be a building where people with mental illness can stay while they are getting better. Now that's separate from the fourth one, which is a secure mental health treatment facility. So this would be for mental people who are danger to themselves and others. So we were planning all 4 of those components, and the place we were planning is to build it is near Kramer Field, south of Kramer Field, that big ugly old barn. That's the county shop. We don't have much in there. A lot of our county equipment is out on West Highway 30. Getting back to the present, then the Oregon Health Authority looked at that and had a series of rules that they applied and said, no, this isn't going to pass muster because they are too close together, and they are all going to be operated by the same governing body. So that has shot this down. So at this point, that kind of brings it up to, I could pause there and either end that story, that sad story, or take some questions. Well, probably the answer will be, we'll see.
So Phil, were you trying to go through the legislative process to try to get an amendment and that failed, or what was the final nail in the coffin?
So this was an administrative process to get an exclusion to basically get approval from Oregon Health Authority that we could go ahead and build this with their blessing. So without the Oregon Health Authority saying that this building fits the rules, we wouldn't have been able to get the other grants that we'd already been awarded or applying for. So it's administrative, not legislative. My immediate kickback is, yeah, it's time to go to the legislature and change the rules there. That 16-bed rule may have made sense back in the 70s, but now the minimum cost to run a facility is going to take 20 or 30 beds. And we've learned a lot about humane treatment. The whole mental health thing has gone through a revolution once or twice since then. Yeah, I think it would take a legislative fix now.
Phil, this is Bill. I guess my question would be, this seems like a lot of planning has gone on, but this is all of a sudden the first we've heard that they're not going to accept these close proximity issues. Is that something that maybe could have been answered earlier on in the process? Or, I mean,
yeah, I know we tried to address the issue from our side by separating things out as much as we could on the property there on 10th Street, and also potentially moving part of the facility out by the Gloria Center to buy some more land there to extend that. So we had anticipated this, and it's a good question. Like, at this point, we don't have enough land to put them on 4 different properties.
Well, I do feel bad for, I know for many people, but for Lane McGill, because I know that Sheriff McGill, this has been just something he's been really working on for a long time. It's one of his passions, and it's unfortunate that he's gotten that information. Well, the county has too. So, thanks.
There's an element of it it must have been a hard decision for. I'll be a little bit sympathy for Oregon Health Authority. Because it must have been a hard decision. Right now, they are being fined thousands of dollars a day because of the situation at the state mental hospital, that they can't bring people in, so because it's full, and so they're getting fined because the courts are saying you got to get people in there within 6 days, and so and they're getting fined because they can't move people out, because there aren't residential treatment centers across the state to receive them. So we could have been part of the solution. So they're not stupid. So I'm sure that was a difficult decision for them to say, oh, we are going to follow these rules, even though we're getting fined at the state hospital at the same time.
Wow.
Bill, how much did you guys have secured in grants already? How much are you looking to lose?
We were up to 50 million is what we were, the price tag on this. And I think we'd secured most of that. I don't think we're out in cash of our own, but except for, like it was a passion project for several people. Tyler invested a lot of time, Tyler Stone, and Sheriff McGill was the lead. Also, Al Barton, Center for Living staff, was going to be staffing the facility, so he was getting the groundwork ready to greatly enlarge their project. Okay, can I go on?
Please do. Do you have some more?
Yeah, some more bad news. This is more problems from the uncertainty, mayhem coming from federal government. The food bank gets a lot of its money from USDA. The Farm Bill gives support to farmers, and that is pitched politically as we're supporting farmers by paying them for this product, so to stabilize their markets. The downstream side of that is that food goes to food banks. Our local food bank is well organized, incredibly well organized and connected, and they figure their food income is down about 18% because of the federal cuts. I already talked about the Early Learning Center getting axed. I'm sorry, I'm just bad news today. I'll come out. I have a little good news at the end. Okay. Being cut. The other place that we're seeing effects is with immigration. I don't have information myself for regarding cherry harvest, but I've been talking to hospitals, and the immigrant community is showing reluctance to show up to go to hospitals, to go to appointments, even to check in with even to apply for Medicaid. And it's serious enough that it's going to become a financial burden for the hospital to not have that Medicare and Medicaid income coming in. Our hospitals run on very tight margins. It's a business that requires a lot of high priced workers and very complicated. And no, the hospital as an institution does well if it breaks even. So this is it's hard on them. Last, a little good news. The governor was in town yesterday. The governor Kotek came and toured the Rowena site, and then came to the MARC Multi-Agency Resource Center, which is a pop-up, or think of it like the Saturday market for people whose house is burned down, and you need to go to see the assessor, you need to see the Red Cross, you need to get food, you need to get diapers, you need to get in touch with medical treatment, with counseling. So bring all of those people together, agencies together, so a person can go around the room and get themselves on track, that I'm I don't have to run across town and find people if people are coming to one place. It's very impressive, the coordination, the willingness to cooperate and go work after hours, and get my staff out of my building to go someplace else. And as I was talking with the residents of Rowena, they show resilience and gratefulness. It's it's been Sheriff McGill was saying this is he thought that the Mosier fire, when the oil tank car caught on fire, was the worst thing he was going to see in his career, but that this was worse. So with that, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm the bearer of bad news today.
Well, we understand. Any questions for Phil? And thank you. Thank you for staying on top of all of that, reporting it to us. I'm going to slide right into Jacob. Do you have some updates for us from the city?
Sure. I'll try to stay on positive news after trying to follow Phil.
There you go.
So we have the Urban Renewal Incentive Program overhaul that has been completed. So this is a full revision of the program guidelines to streamline the applications, clarify the eligibility, and add new tools. So we have taken that incentive grant using urban renewal dollars from a $50,000 max for our commercial projects up to $300,000. The goal is with $300,000, we can hopefully reactivate a lot of these second stories in a lot of these older buildings, and either turn them into office spaces, or for us, more hopefully, into living quarters. We are in exclusive negotiating agreements with the Fermentation Hub. This is on the Old Tony site. We do have a bit of bad news there. They did not receive the Main Street grant for $400,000 that they applied for. So they're kind of back to the drawing board, and they're going to come to us with their options B and C this next month. And hopefully we can continue moving forward on that project. We have relaunched the city's EPA project with the brownfields, and we have a $500,000 grant to parcel out to try to help these businesses within the city find the old tanks and look for asbestos. And so if anybody has any questions, please get in contact with me, and we can do a phase 1, a phase 2, and we can even go in and do a building materials assessment. We're also working on the Federal Street Plaza. So we have got the concept design finalized. We are moving into bringing on the consultant to do the final design of that and hopefully go out to construction on that next year. At the same time, we have the First Street reconstruction where we're making progress on that. Finally getting through the uh, archaeologic and historic preservation side of that. So hopefully we can go out to bid next year on that. I've had really great conversations with the Federal Street Plaza and activating that with the owners of the Craig Building. And hopefully making some changes there on the east side of the building that will activate the plaza when the plaza is built and kind of help make it that downtown living room. I'm currently applying for the TGM grant that we applied for last year and didn't receive because the county got that one last year. And so hopefully with that, we'll be doing the West Side Renaissance revitalization study and plan so that we can look at the traffic and the zoning and everything on the west side with all of the potential projects moving forward. And other than that, we are moving forward with the airport business park. If anybody's been over there, we've moved a lot of dirt. We are now putting a lot of pipe in the ground, and hopefully we'll be going to bid in late July, early August on the building of the hangar for the college. So we got a lot of projects going on.
Jacob, thank you. When you refer to the West Side development, what part of West Side is like West 2nd, West 6th, West 8th, West 10th?
It's pretty much, I think of it as everything outside the urban growth boundary areas to the west. It incorporates a large area.
The urban or growth boundary.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you think, 6th Street, going all the way out, so we want to incorporate all the land all the way out to where the ball fields are supposed to go.
Okay. So yeah, for the sake of, if I'm not, I know you come in here with a lot of energy. Help us think of where the city limit is on the west side and the urban growth boundary is. Because they aren't the same.
So sorry, I was thinking, not the urban growth boundary, the urban renewal agency boundary.
Right.
Yes, that's what I meant, because the urban growth boundary and the city boundary are really tight through there.
Right. So the urban renewal boundary is around Pomona Street, I think.
Yeah, right around there. I'm working on bringing up the map and I might be able to share that.
While you're bringing it up, I'm very glad this is the west side of town deserves a lot of attention.
I believe Liz just put a link into the chat because she's like just quick on the draw right there. Is that what you just did, Liz? Okay, so there is a link in your chat that's to the map. And thank you.
Okay.
That'll give you that look. Different boundaries. Oops. Agree and accept. Okay, thank you. Nice map.
So what color are we talking about? Are we talking about the orange color?
I've requested to share at work. Can anybody see that share?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's our study area. So it actually goes outside the city limits.
right. Yeah. Okay,
So it's a large section.
great.
And we're looking for right around $200,000 in order to do it. It's an 18-month process.
All right, thank you. That's wonderful.
And if you'd like more information, Phil, we can chat offline for certain.
Okay. But the last thing I'll say about this is I make the mistake, I think we all do, of thinking that that is west. It's actually north.
It
Yeah.
is. Yep, it definitely is more north.
Yeah, for example, the streets out there, Chenoweth Loop Road, I put a compass on it. It is an east, it's very close to direct east-west road. Yeah.
Yeah, any other questions?
Looks like we're good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Corliss?
Good morning, Corliss Marsh. I just wanted to welcome Vesta on that she's on board. Yeah, and that
Thank you.
gift shop is really fantastic. Yeah, I remember us talking about that you needed to be on here, so I'm glad you showed up.
I always obey you.
I wanted to shout out that next Wednesday night at the city park, the library is putting on music. Music in the Park is in conjunction with the Park Bureau. And so 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. And next Wednesday will be Brewer's Grade. So just bring your dinner, have a picnic, and listen to some music. And that's from the library. And then also, I also have a sad note. One of the original people that came on governmental affairs was Ken Farner, and he passed away. And Ken's memorial service is tomorrow, Saturday at 1 o'clock at Gateway. So he brought me into governmental affairs. So, and being at the barbecue.
Yeah.
So that's what I have today.
Thank you, Corliss. Yes, Ken is amazing. I've known Ken and Phyllis when I was growing up. Their son and I went to school together. So, yes, amazing people, and he will be very much missed and just the footprint that he left. So thank you for reminding us. Appreciate that. Scott, would you like to go next with some updates? I'm sure you got a few.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Scott McKay. I'm the community liaison for Circles of Care. And currently I will be stepping down from Circles of Care starting at the end of August. And it's been 3 years, and that I just been too involved with other things in the community and just don't have any time for work. So I got to get rid of the work piece so I can be involved with the other things, which one of them I will mention in a minute. But Circles of Care was started in 2019 by Age Plus, with the idea that it would be established in the community and then be handed off to some local organization to continue the program. That happened in Hood River with the Hood River Valley Adult Center. Took it over because with the help of Providence, they had that advantage. And so we're looking for a partner in the Dalles to take over the program. It's about a about $35,000 program. And that's the challenge. There's a lot easier to take over a program when you get funded administrative costs, but when there's no funding attached to it, it's a kind of a challenge. So we're looking at trying to find someone to take over the program. Currently, we have about 17 active volunteers, and we provide about 100 volunteer hours a week, a month. So we are definitely involved within the community. So the second thing is, what's taking a lot of time is the Dementia Friendly Wasco County Partnership, that many of us have been working on. It's a partnership because it involves the Mid-Columbia Senior Center, and thanks to their board and the Greater Oregon Behavioral Health Incorporated, GOBI, the Oregon and Southwest Washington Alzheimer's Association, the Rotary, and Circles of Care. And we have, from the very beginning, we have identified 3 focuses, and that is education, support, and respite care. And we have Danette Utley, who's been trained by the Oregon Alzheimer's Association. She's doing educational presentations about dementia, better understanding of it, trying to reduce the stigma that comes along with it, and also to help caregivers understand more about the disease also. And then we look at support, and we had our first memory cafe where we have invited those who are living with dementia plus their caregiver, and just to kind of get together for an hour and a half, and just, it's more of a social time. So it's an opportunity to get out and enjoy the company of others. And then the third one, and I've mentioned it before, is that we applied for a grant with the help of the Oregon Alzheimer's Association to the Center for Dementia Respite Innovation. And we received, thanks to the Mid-Columbia Senior Center stepping forward, they applied for the grant, and they received $100,000 over for 2 years to provide a respite program, to establish a respite program here in the Dalles to give the caregiver time to themselves, time to get away, just to relax and re-energize themselves, because caring for someone 24/7 can be a tremendous challenge. And so that program is basically going to be a 4 hours a week, starting simple, so we can do it right. And so 4 hours a week at the Mid-Columbia Senior Center. And if you want to see what our vision is, or where we want to go, is visit the Sunshine Club in Hood River. They have a respite program, and I believe it's 4 days a week, 8 hours a day, I believe. And it's a tremendously successful program. And so we are hoping to get to that level at some time. It is a 2-year grant, so that gives us time to start the program, get it up and running, and work on a sustainability plan in order to keep the program going after when the funding runs out. So that's pretty exciting, and really looking forward to that. As in any organization, as we know, is that we're always looking for volunteers. And both Circles of Care, we're looking for volunteers, and that's real flexible. We match you with an older adult who may need, primarily we do friendly visits, which can really make a difference in an older adult's life. Just having that hour to 2 hours a week visit with someone other than family or a caregiver, just to have that personal one-to-one relationship. And then also we'll be looking for volunteers for the respite program to help staff that program. And we'll be looking for a lead person for the respite program. And so if you know anyone who has any interest and skill in working with individuals with dementia, just contact Rob Garrett at the Mid-Columbia Senior Center, and he will provide a job description and information about that position. It's half-time, $30,000 a year. So it's a nice part-time job and very rewarding and meaningful position to take. Let's see, anything else? I'm sure there's going to be things I've forgotten and wish I had said, but I can't think of anything more right now. Just the Circles of Care, looking for a home and also volunteers. and then what we call the Harbor Respite Program at the Mid-Columbia Senior Center. We're hoping to start that. The plan is to do a soft opening at the end of September and to get the program going for the 2 years. And once again, we had tremendous support when we made the application. We had letters of support, and thank Lisa and the Chamber for writing a letter of support for our grant application. And Lisa, we have not received the marketing or how to promote or explain the grant that we received yet. So we're just going to say, forget about that. We'll just tell people that we have received the
You go,
grant.
Scott, yes.
Yep.
It's a
So-
celebration you should have. That's quite the accomplishment. I'm so excited that you got it and we can start that. It's so needed, such a needed program, and will help
That was
so many.
That was my secret from that I announced on Tuesday morning. And I
Okay, there
said that
you
there was
go.
a secret. So I was waiting for Scott to announce it.
Okay, look at that. We got our secret. We're not waiting for that marketing package, but when you get it, let me know so we can put it out there the way we're supposed to. So yeah.
And thank you, Lisa, and thanks Corliss and the board particularly, because our Dementia Friendly Wasco County Partnership is a loose organization. It's a partnership and no real structure. And we had to find someone a home for it and someone willing to take on to apply for that grant in Mid-Columbia Senior Center. And with the board and Rob's particular leadership, they stepped forward and did it. So it would not have been possible without the Mid-Columbia Senior Center.
Awesome. Thank
The
you.
best,
Scott.
the best senior center in the
the
state of
world.
Oregon.
Yeah, ever in the land. There we go. We love it. All right, Liz, do you want to introduce yourself and if you have any updates about what you do?
Sure. Hi, my name is Liz Lance. Hi, Bill. I am the executive director for Q Life, or the Quality Life Intergovernmental Agency. This is my first appearance here. Thanks to Dan for letting me know about these. But Q Life is a local fiber infrastructure provider, which is a collaboration between Wasco County, City of the Dalles, and Northern Wasco County PUD. So those three organizations have gotten together to say our community deserves better, more reliable connectivity at a price that folks can afford. And so that's what our organization works to do. That's our mission. So I don't have any announcements at the moment, but we are ramping up a bit of a discovery and then hopefully moving into a development phase to bring better connectivity to this region. So you might have seen recently the City of the Dalles as well as Wasco County authorized loans to Q Life with terms and all those normal loan things, not just contributions, but loans, so that we can understand what our financial levers are for our development. So my role is new. Previously, Q Life was cared for by Matthew Klebs as a on top of everything else type item. Previous to that, Tyler Stone. So new full-time executive director with Q Life, and we're moving quicker than we have in the past because simply there's more time and attention being put towards it. So I hope to bring you some more specific, tangible updates in the future, but I will hope to join these sessions more consistently. It won't be all the time, but I'd like to be plugged in. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. We love it. You just come when you can, and they're recorded if you miss one. So,
Great.
if we're going to spend a session talking about Scott in depth, all those stories, and you're like, I need to know some more stories, we'll get you that recording. Right, Scott? Just nod your head yes.
Liz, when you come back, bring with us the story of, I'll call it Q Life Phase 1, how bringing fiber optics to the Dalles was essential in order for data centers to be located here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Liz. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I enjoy having you here. So
Thank
really
you.
quick, we just got a couple of minutes. I'll do a little bit of updates of what the chamber is doing. One, if you were watching City Council in the newspaper, we just were finally awarded on June 9th, I believe was the date, the tourism contract. They did a different process this year. They put it out for public bid way back in February, March is when they made that announcement. You know, that sometimes has some challenges because we don't know the outcome. And so the chamber halted a lot of their marketing efforts because we're about a year ahead in some of those marketing agreements. But finally on June, we were awarded that contract. So we're madly in gear because our contract starts July 1. So we are doing a quick, we know what to do and all of that, but we do get to hire a full-time tourism director. I'll be the supervisor on that piece, and being able to train that person on the things that we've been doing for the last 13 years. So we're excited to add a person who's full-time, just like when Liz said that things happen and do more when you have a full-time person concentrating on that. As you know, for the last 13 years, I've split my time between chamber and tourism. We've been very careful to make sure that we do that, and we have our tourism team in chamber, but this will allow me to take all the tourism on that desk behind me and put it on theirs. So I am actually super excited that I will be doing a more concentrated effort with chamber things and workforce and business recruitment. So we're excited about the work that's ahead of us. If you know of somebody who might be interested in that aspect of a tourism director, I would love to have their feet wet with Travel Oregon and tourism itself, because I need them to hit the ground running. It is a position that offers 60 to 65K a year, depending on their experience, and we do have full benefits for them. So we're excited about that piece of it. As I mentioned earlier, we're waiting for our AC to get replaced. As being in an old building, we understand last year we spent a lot of dollars replacing the entire sewer line underneath the building and out to the curb. It was not a fun endeavor because we didn't know it was bad until it broke. So as you can find, that was last summer. And then this summer, we are replacing both our heating and cooling system, because they are too old to replace one element. And so as you understand with old buildings, that's what we're doing here. And so we're also geared up doing tourism, welcoming. We just created 800 and some bags for last weekend to welcome our baseball teams and our swim teams at the same time. We were able to give them a little coupon sheet. Here's the businesses that are going to give you a discount all on one sheet. And they did frequent a lot of those businesses and kept them busy along with a lot of our other businesses in the downtown. And I know the Lions kept busy because a lot of them did not want to lose their parking spot. So they ate right there on the premise for the swim team. So we're doing those different things. We're getting geared up for the ship season because that has now been included back into the tourism contract, like it was probably about 9 years ago. And so our job though is to work with the ships for the excursion experience if they need anything, and making sure they know what's going on. That is the responsibility that is spelled out for the chamber to be taking on. So we'll be working with the lots of different aspects. Those are still coming in. I'm still learning because we haven't been a part of that for about 9 years. So we will be working with all the different agencies and partners that have anything to do with touch with the cruise ships. So we'll be working on that. And then we are getting ready to launch our new fiscal year starting July 1 with lots of brand new amazing board members. So be watching that. We're looking forward to this year with some of our board members that we're bringing on and making sure that our board looks like our community and representing our community businesses and the different groups in our community. So we're excited about bringing on these new board members and some changes that are coming down the way. We are still looking for grants because one of the portions for the chamber to do the contract with the city was we had applied for a grant way back in February with Travel Oregon for destination development, which means bringing some key partners, stakeholders all in the room forming a committee that's going to be committed for 3 years to do this work in progress. But then looking at our assets, deciding what's the trends, what can we do, what's the low hanging fruit that the chamber or the city could be doing to attract tourism and locals. So this whole committee and work and strategic plan was included in that grant with the contractor doing this. We did not get the grant. So we are looking for other grants so that we can still continue this work and hopefully this year. So I'm in touch with the contractor. She goes, okay, let's see what we can do. I'm also working with some other grant writers, that's their world, to see if there's some grants out there that we can apply for. So we are working on those pieces. And then one last note, because I have 2 minutes left. Please know, as the city is working on First Street and the Federal Street Plaza, which if any of you did your Cherry Festival map, that means Cherry Festival can't be on where it normally is. So we're already working with Public Works, City of the Dalles, our police department, the chief and the captain, and trying to figure out where we can put Cherry Festival for 2026. We think we have it figured out, but I'm not saying anything till I map it out and do the Cherry Festival square footage necessary on that map to make sure that it will all fit, all has clearings, because this means moving the carnival, the vendors. The only thing that we're not moving so far is the parade. So that looks like it's going to be the same. But so just so you know, we are already having those conversations. I have a ton of maps behind me with lots of lines, lots of footages and measurements to see if we can make this all work in another location. This last year, we attracted even more people from out of town. It truly does give our businesses the dollars after all winter long. So this is their first event out of the winter. And so that does help them with that springtime boost of bringing dollars into their businesses. This year, we had a few businesses that had their highest sales day ever on the Saturday of Cherry Festival. So it does make a difference in our economy and to our businesses. So we don't want it to go by the wayside or lose momentum. So we're in there. If you have great ideas, let me know. But we've walked all over the downtown, and I'm making sure I have the police department and Public Works for the best safety of where we put it. So just so you guys know, that is underway. And I'm sure there's 100 other things behind me that I should probably mention, but I can't remember them right now. So watch our community calendar and the DallesChamber.com. And if anything, just call us. We're right here, or send me an email. So any questions? As I just, awesome. So with that, look at, we ended right at 8 o'clock. So everybody have an amazing weekend. We have a lot going on this weekend. I so wish I was going to be here. I want to go listen to the cellist. My son was in strings orchestra, all his elementary and middle school, and I love it, but we're not going to be here. But we did get to meet one of the cellists. They came in here to our office, and it was a pleasure meeting them. So everybody look at that community calendar and just support local. We have an amazing community, and right now we need to support them even more. The businesses are donating to the families. We need to do to the businesses so they continue to prosper in our community. So with that, everybody have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Actually, yes, next week. We got it.